get to our word of the day. The word of the day today is unconventional. Because when it comes down to it, you have to ask yourself, and I know the answer, and you know the answer, but is something bad just because it's unconventional? Again, is something bad just because it's unconventional? Now, Phil Simms' son will say yes. So will a lot of Dan Orlovsky, a lot of quarterbacks that weren't very good will say, unless you do something a certain way, it's wrong. And they never look at the totality of what the Eagles do. This past Sunday, as we mentioned yesterday on the program, the Eagles had more rushing yards than the Bills, who won their game, and the Chiefs, who won their game, had total. And they'll say, oh, well, they have to pass more. Now, think about that now. Just running, without any passing at all, they had more total yards than both the Bills and the Chiefs, both representatives of the AFC Championship game. The Eagles had more yards. Yet they'll say the Eagles have to do more, but they can't tell you why. You want to know why? Because it's unconventional, it's unique, and they're uncomfortable with it. Because it's not based in fact. Then when they'll talk about the game, they'll talk about Daniels being dangerous. And I'm not saying Daniels isn't dangerous, but what they won't mention at all, is that the Eagles, again, more rushing yards than both the Bills and the Chiefs had total yards in their game that they won. And Washington's 30th against the run. That never comes up. Why? I'll tell you why. 'Cause I'm not going to say automatically that these people wake up and have a personal hatred for Philadelphia. Because I don't know if that's the case. What I do know for sure, though, is these guys are very paint by numbers. Football doesn't have to be complicated. But people get paid a lot of money to make it complicated. Blocking, tackling, etc., all the basic things in Little League, that still applies at all times. The Eagles ended up with more total yards in driving snow than both Buffalo, who had some snow, and the Chiefs had. Yet, the Eagles can't win because it doesn't pass their eye test that they arbitrarily made up. I know Mike and Bill were just talking about the Legion of Boom and how they ran the ball and played great defense and won a Super Bowl. Yesterday, we talked about the 1998 Broncos, especially in that Super Bowl where they used Terrell Davis. They just asked John Elway to do a couple of things. He actually had an interception, turned the ball over, and that was enough to win. There are examples that you could put your hands on, but it's not the norm. It's unconventional. And sometimes when people see something as unconventional, they don't understand it, and when they don't understand it, they don't like it. So do they necessarily hate the Eagles when they wake up and get out of bed and they decide it? No. But when they go to break down the film, they'll decide they hate it because they're not comfortable with it. And that happens in life. Think about your own life. There's all times, none of us are above it, where something can look a little weird, something can be a little unconventional, and we end up going, hey, I don't like that, because we're not comfortable. The Eagles are making the NFL uncomfortable. The Eagles making the NFL uncomfortable. These analysts don't know how to talk about it because all they've ever said is, you got to do this throwing, this is how it is, this is what it's like. And when the Eagles prove it wrong, time after time after time after time, they don't have an answer for it. And thus, that's how we end up here. But let's not forget, Ricky Bo, that the thing that the Eagles do the best, Washington does the worst, and yet we're supposed to be worried because someone said so.
Shaking in our boots is what everybody's doing right now. No, they're not. I look at it this way. I think a lot of people think it's unconventional. Why? Because it's almost like we're a throwback team. And people aren't really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Well, the Eagles have proven when you have a good running back, and by the way, now forget just the running back, because you got a very good running quarterback, as we just saw in the last game. A 40-something yard touchdown by Hurts, 2 touchdowns by Saquon Barkley. I want you to think about something. Think about around the league. How many times do you see guys break off long runs like that and actually score? Either either they get into the open and they get caught from behind. That's not happening here. What's happening here is the hole's opening up on the second level, and Saquon Barkley could take it through the third to the end zone every single time. If he gets by that second level, other teams know they're in trouble. Number two, this is a ball club that has a tremendous defense. There's no looking back on it now. Beginning of the year, we weren't really sure where they were defensively, but now they have a great defense. I was taught when I was a little kid that in football, defenses win championships. Now, that went away for a long time. That's a fair thing to say. I think it went away for a long time.
You're right.
And when it went away, I think people's mindsets changed. People look at football and say, well, if you're not passing the football, there's no way you're winning football games. It's impossible. Well, you know what? You just found a team that is doing it. They're running the football at will. And when you run the football at will, why would you take that extra chance? And what I mean by the extra chance is, number one, the snap, the throw. Everything's got to go perfect. Everybody's got to catch the ball, and everything has to go right. The guy has to run the right route. You got a guy covering him. Why not just hand it off to Barkley if he's going to get you 10, 20, 60, 70 yards at a clip? I just think they're doing what they need to do because this is how this is how they know how to win. And if you're going to win by running the football, I don't care. You know what? If a Super Bowl trophy comes back here 3 Sundays from now, everybody's going to be happy. Actually, 2 Sundays.
Yeah, three.
But
your point is correct. 610-632-0975. I remember it makes me think of, because, I am at least part geek, about how when they found the duck-billed platypus, they thought it was a joke.
Yep.
Because it looked like they took a bunch of different animals and put all these parts on an animal. They thought it was a joke because it was unconventional. Instead, it turned out to be very real.
He was just ugly.
Yeah, that's what it came down to. It has the gills, and it has the beak like this and the feet like this, and they thought literally it was a joke, and then they found out, no, these things exist. Right now, that's what this Eagles team is to a lot of these people. They think it's not real. They think it doesn't exist. And today we'll talk about how unconventional has never meant bad.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching our YouTube. If you want to help us out, go ahead and like and subscribe for us. If you liked what you saw, go right over here to our playlists and pick out whatever you want to watch.